India is gesturing that it is almost ready to attack Pakistan, and if it attacks, it can even win the battle or even the war if it leads to a war. And Pakistan is gesturing that yes, okay, come on, we are ready, and if you attack us, we are ready to retaliate, and if you continue this pressure, then we are ready to go to war with you as well. And I think international efforts to prevent India and Pakistan from going to war over this issue will ultimately succeed. The United States and other world power is still in a position to prevent India from doing so, and that's what they're working on. But I think it will be a major mistake if India went to that extent. I mean, if it is a controlled attack inside even inside Pakistan or inside Azad Kashmir, that can be managed. He spoke in Pakistan. He spoke with Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif. In India, he spoke with his counterpart, Foreign Minister Jai Shankar. And I think I read both the statements, and it's very balanced. I mean, the U.S. approach, focusing on the need for peace, de-escalation, also, of course, investigating the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. I think it does not seem to pressurize either Pakistan or India. Of course, in the statement for Pakistan, he emphasizes the need for condemning such terrorist attacks, which Pakistan already has, and that Pakistan always does. Obviously, in the current situation, nobody in his or her right mind would actually support terrorism, and Pakistan obviously does not support terrorist acts like this. So that should not be an issue for Pakistan. Then he urged Pakistan to work with India in catching those responsible, and that Pakistan has already made that offer. Pakistan supports a Chinese move to conduct an international and independent inquiry into the attack to determine who were behind it. And Pakistan has also expressed its willingness to help catch the culprits. So I think it was a very I mean, the statements, as far as the two statements that came, the State Department issued two separate statements. One on his conversation with Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, which is slightly longer than the one on his conversation with Jai Shankar, the Indian Foreign Minister. But both were very focused, and both, I think, it would help promote peace in the region. No, this is how Washington works. I mean, what happened, I understand why we react the way we do when we hear about somebody, any country, or any individual hiring lobbyists in Washington, because that is considered illegal in most countries of the world, particularly in Pakistan. And we don't have this tradition of actually people hiring lobbyists to lobby with the government. That would be seen as criminal bribing. But it is very much legal in America. There is a department within the U.S. Justice Department that deals with it. And everybody who lobbies for any country or company or an individual has to register with the U.S. Justice Department as a foreign agent. And that includes making certain commitments, sharing the money, paying taxes on the money it receives from its client, and also sharing the information with the U.S. government. So it is very legal in the United States. Pakistan has been doing it forever. As far as I remember, for the 40 years, we have had lobbyists in Washington. Benazir Bhutto, the late Prime Minister, she and her government had lobbies. Even when the People's Party was in the position, they had a lobbyist here. And the Muslim League has had lobbyists in Washington. And then, of course, Imran Khan and his party have hired lobbyists in Washington, in the US, and they are still working for them. And the Pakistan government, even an Islamabad-based think tank has hired a lobbyist in Pakistan. in Washington. So I think it is how diplomacy is conducted in Washington. You have an embassy. The embassy meets people at the official level. It meets U.S. State Department officials. It meets White House officials. It goes to the U.S. Congress and meets U.S. lawmakers and everything. But the embassy can only take an official position. It cannot go beyond that, because whatever the embassy says will be seen as an official statement from Pakistan or from India or from whichever country hires that lobbyist. But a lobbyist has more space to play around, and it can use all sorts of arguments. It can use all sorts of methods to win over the person or the official it is working on. And that will not be seen as Pakistan's position, but will be seen as a lobbyist position, which will ultimately benefit Pakistan. So that is how the business is conducted in Washington. I don't know if they are. I think there's a lot of posturing, gesturing going around. I mean, India is gesturing that it is almost ready to attack Pakistan, and if it attacks, it can even win the battle or even the war if it leads to a war. And Pakistan is gesturing that yes, okay, come on, we are ready, and if you attack us, we are ready to retaliate, and if you continue this pressure, then we are ready to go to war with you as well. I think, but while doing so, both countries would listen to sane advice from the other nations, particularly the nations that they deal with. Like Pakistan would be open to anything coming from China or Turkey or even Saudi Arabia, particularly China and Turkey. And Indians, because of the nature of the relationship now, I mean, they are a close U.S. ally in Washington's efforts to curb China. India feels threatened by China too. And therefore, India would be willing to listen to America. And I think the situation is still not out of hand. I mean, a lot can be done, and it is being done. And I think international efforts to prevent India and Pakistan from going to war over this issue will ultimately succeed. But another issue which is, for me, more serious is that of the Indus Water Treaty. As you know, that India has suspended it. It has sent a letter to the World Bank, which is the sole arbitrator in this dispute. And I think that is something that India can sit on, can delay, continue building its capacity, and then would like to be in a position where it can actually regulate the flow of water into Pakistan. And that is something that Pakistan needs to deal with more seriously and more comprehensively. And we will need to look at various options. We will have to build our own capacity to restore water. We'll have to resolve internal differences over the Indus water in Pakistan. I mean, that is a much more serious issue than this immediate threat of India attacking a target in Pakistan. If India launches an attack into Pakistan, then we all know that Pakistan would respond. Our response will obviously depend on what India does. If it is another attack like the one that happened a few years ago near Kazan, when they targeted an abandoned building which they claimed was a terrorist base, which turned out to be an empty madrasa. So if something like that happens, then obviously Pakistan will not do much. It will condemn it, and that's it. But if actually India does target a sensitive installation, a major Pakistani city, a major Pakistani dam or any similar target, then Pakistan will be forced to retaliate, and Pakistan would like to do whatever India does to it. And I think the United States and other world power is still in a position to prevent India from doing so, and that's what they're working on. But I think it will be a major mistake if India went to that extent. I mean, if it is a controlled attack even inside Pakistan or inside Azad Kashmir, that can be managed. But if it is a major target, then it will definitely lead to a response from Pakistan, and that may then lead to a counter response from India, and that counter response may lead to an all out war between two nuclear armed neighbors, and that is something nobody in the world wants.